So, there I was, about to start college, thinking I'd just chill and get ready for uni life. Man, was I wrong. Life threw me the biggest curveball ever that summer when I turned 18. You know how it goes, you're just trying to hang with your buddies and have a good time, then, bam, everything changes. My buddy, Sam, asked if I wanted to crash at his family's cabin for a few weeks. We'd always do this awesome summer thing, you know, boats, swimming, hiking, just vibing in the middle of nowhere. Sam's folks were like family to me, and their cabin, total home away from home. But this time, things got weird, like, really weird. Sam's dad, James, he was super chill about not being called Mr. Anderson, was this fit dude in his mid-40s, total dad jokes kind of guy, with this big laugh that everyone loved. He'd always been cool with me, treating me like one of his own kids, but something was off this time. I couldn't put my finger on it, but, yeah, definitely different. So, this one super hot day, Sam's girlfriend calls, needing help in town. We're just chilling by the dock, feet in the water, sun doing its thing on the lake. He's like, hey, mind if I bounce for a couple hours? I'll be back for dinner. Yeah, whatever, I said, totally casual, might hit up the SAA or something. They had this sweet little SAA by the lake, tucked away behind where they keep the boats. I'd used it before, it was seriously amazing for just zoning out. James couldn't shut up about it since they got it, kept saying it was his go-to spot for distressing. Cool, cool. Dad's around if you need anything, Sam said, grabbing his keys and heading out. I waved him off and wandered back to the cabin, just enjoying the peace and quiet, super chill vibes, just cicadas buzzing, and the lake doing its thing. After hanging on the deck for a bit, I grabbed a towel and headed to the SAA, ready to get my relaxation on. The second I stepped in, that heat hit different, in a good way. Dropped my towel on the bench, leaned back, closed my eyes, the warmth was doing its thing, melting away all the tension. Just me and my thoughts, totally zen, until about 15 minutes in, when the door squeaked open. In walks James, rocking just a towel, already looking like he'd been working out or something. Room for one more, he asks, super casual like. Oh, yeah, sure, I mumbled, sitting up straight, wasn't expecting company. Place was tiny, barely fit 2 people, but, like, what could I say, it was his SAA. He plops down next to me on the bench, towel barely there. Talk about awkward silence. I tried to focus on the heat, but having him there made me feel super weird. The whole vibe had shifted, and I had no clue why. Looking pretty stressed there, James said, out of nowhere, his voice all low and weird. Just let the heat do its thing, you know, loosen up. No worries. I said, trying to play it cool, even though my heart was going crazy. He laughed and kicked back. Hey, you've done the SAA thing before. Yeah, a few times, I said, wiping off some sweat. He gave me this weird look that lasted way too long. I was like, nah, he's just being his normal, friendly self. But then, his leg touched mine. Just a tiny bump, but whoa, it felt super weird. I scooted it away, but James didn't seem to care, or maybe he was pretending not to notice. He leaned in, all sweaty and stuff, and got all quiet. You know what's cool about SAS, they are not just for stress, he said, giving me this look. They really help you chill out, get your whole body relaxed. I just nodded, course, like, what do you even say to that? The air got super thick and heavy, and everything felt super intense. A few minutes went by and it was so awkward. He was right there, and with all the steam and heat, I started getting this weird feeling, something was up. Then, out of nowhere, his hand was on my shoulder. You good? He asked, all quiet like. My breath got stuck. Yeah, fine, I managed to say, but he didn't move his hand. Instead, he ran it down my arm. I froze up, like, this was Sam's dad. No way was this happening. You seem kind of tense, he said again, still touching my arm. Just relax, you're totally safe here. My head was spinning. Was this for real? Was I reading this wrong? But, there was no mistaking how close he was, how he was practically pressed against me. I tried to move away again, but the SAA was tiny. The heat that felt nice before was now totally suffocating. My heart was going crazy, and my mouth was super dry. I wanted to say something, anything, but I was just stuck there. James got even closer, still holding my arm, and whispered, "You know, you're a good-looking kid, right?" I went totally stiff. My brain was screaming at me to move, to get out, to do something, but I couldn't. His words just hung there, and he was so close, I couldn't deal. Then, he got even closer, and I could feel his breath on my neck when he said, "Just between us, nobody has to know." His hand moved to my leg, and every muscle in my body went tight. The sounder, that was supposed to be chill, had turned into this trap, and I was stuck in there with James, feeling his hand on my leg and his breath on my skin. But that wasn't even the end of it. I basically fell out of there, heart pounding, totally confused, and feeling super guilty. The cool air hit me like a wall, but it didn't help clear my head. My legs were shaking as I walked, and I wrapped my towel around me super tight, like it would protect me or something. Couldn't wrap my head around it. Sam's dad, my best friend's actual father, had kissed me, and I just let it happen. Everything kept playing in my head, his hands, how confident he was, like he totally done this before. I could still feel the kiss, and it was freaking me out. Why didn't I stop it? Why did I just freeze? My head was full of questions I couldn't answer. Walking back to the cabin felt like forever. Time went super slow, making me relive every second in that SAA, felt like a bad dream I couldn't wake up from. When I got to the cabin door, I just stood there, not sure what to do. My hand was shaking when I grabbed the doorknob, and I had to take this big breath to chill out. How was I going to face anyone, especially Sam? What if they could tell something happened? I was like, no way, nobody would know. I had to keep this locked up tight, pretend it never happened. I didn't have a choice. If Sam found out about me and his dad, it would wreck everything, our friendship, his family, me. When I walked in, the cabin smelled like normal, all woodsy and pine, and for a sec, I thought maybe I could just forget it all, but, nah, it was stuck in my head on repeat. I threw my clothes on super fast, like covering up would somehow make me forget how James touched me, but it didn't work. I couldn't stop feeling his hands, his breath on my neck. I sat on my bed, staring at the floor, my head going crazy. How did everything get so messed up so fast? This wasn't supposed to go down like this, this wasn't who I wasn't supposed to feel like this. But, real talk, there was this tiny part of me, the part one really didn't want to think about, that felt something when he kissed me, that maybe wanted it, and that scared me more than anything. But wait, it gets worse. I wasn't just freaked about what happened, I was terrified about what might happen next. James said nobody had to know, but he didn't say what he was going to do next. Would he try something again? What if Sam came back and could tell something was off? What would I even say? Right then, I heard a car on the gravel. Oh, snap, Sam was back. I jumped up like my bed was on fire, trying to get my act together. No time to think about it, I just had to act normal, like everything was cool. I took this huge breath, trying to push all that crazy stuff out of my head. The door squeaked open, and there was Sam with his usual chill smile. "Yo, what's good?" he said, tossing his keys on the counter. "Must have been pretty boring without me around, huh?" I threw on a quick smile even though my heart was going crazy, and man, just chilled, hit up the SAA and stuff. Sam just nodded, totally clueless about what was up. "Sweet, you hungry?" Dad's probably got the grill going by now. Just hearing Dad made me feel like I was going to lose it, but I played it cool. Yeah, food sounds good. We went outside and there he was. James flipping burgers like everything was totally normal, like he hadn't just messed everything up. When he spotted me, he got that smile on his face, but his eyes, man, they gave me the creeps, like he knew he had me in a corner. "Hey guys," James called out, all casual and stuff. "Burgers are almost ready, grab some cold ones from the cooler." Yeah, I had to focus super hard just to keep my hands steady walking to that cooler. Sam was just chatting away with his dad, no clue about all the weird vibes. Every time they talked, I felt like something was going to slip. When I handed Sam his beer, I couldn't help looking at James. He caught me looking and held it just a bit too long. Just that tiny thing made my heart go nuts. Dinner was just weird. Sam kept talking about his girl and summer plans and college stuff. I just nodded and fake laughed when I was supposed to, but my head was stuck in that SAA moment, couldn't shake it. Later, we're all hanging by the fire pit, doing the marshmallow thing, and James leans back, all chill, stretches out and gives me that look again. "Hey, SAA is always open if you need to chill," he says, super casual, like he wasn't being totally sketchy. I totally froze up, feeling sick. Was he for real? But before I could say anything, Sam just laughs. "Bro, you're like obsessed with that SAA," he tells his dad. "You're in there more than anyone." James just laughs, still staring at me. "It's good for you, you know, clears your head and stuff." My throat felt super tight. "Yeah, maybe later." He didn't say anything back, but I got the message, loud and clear. This wasn't over. I was stuck in this crazy situation with no way out, and it just got worse from there. The next few days were just weird, like, there was this crazy tension that wouldn't go away. Things were different with Sam's dad now, and I couldn't pretend they weren't. I tried to act like everything was cool, but it was getting to me. Every time he looked at me, every time I heard him talk, I kept telling myself it was just a mistake, that I wasn't supposed to feel like this, but the more I tried to forget it, the more it bugged me, like when you can't stop thinking about something even though you really want to. The way he kept watching me was freaking me out. He'd always be right there, you know, and that look he had, trying to act normal but totally not, like he knew I wouldn't tell anyone, and man, he was right. How could I tell Sam? His dad was like my second dad for forever. I couldn't mess that up. But every day, I felt like I was about to lose it, just waiting for everything to blow up. Man, I couldn't sleep or think straight after what went down in that SAA, kept worrying it might happen again, and wouldn't you know it, totally did. One afternoon, Sam and I were out hiking trails by the lake all morning. It was crazy hot and sticky out, and we were both totally drenched when we got back. "Going to hop in the shower real quick," Sam said, dropping his backpack on the porch, "then let's grab some food." "Yeah, cool," I mumbled, my mind already freaking out about being stuck alone with James. Like clockwork, the second Sam disappeared inside, I felt James behind me. When I turned around, there he was on the deck, towel over his shoulder, no shirt, all sweaty. He just stood there giving me that look that made my stomach do backflips. "Looking like you could use another SAA session," he said, trying to sound casual, but with this weird edge to his voice, like he was daring me to say no. My heart was going crazy. I knew his game, he was pushing my buttons, seeing what he could get away with. I should have just bounced right then, should have made up some excuse, anything, but I just froze up like an idiot. That's when James went for it. "Hey," he said, getting all up in my space, voice going all low, "it's cool to just let things happen, stop fighting it." He brushed my arm, and boom, that same weird rush hit me, like fear mixed with something else I didn't want to deal with. I tried backing up, but he just followed me, towering over me, like he knew exactly what was coming next. "James," I squeaked out, "I don't dash," but he cut me off. hand on my shoulder, not rough, but definitely in charge, steering me toward the SAA. "Just chill," he whispered, "nobody else around." I should have told him to back off, should have run back inside and locked the door, but instead, I just let him lead me, let him take over, even though everything inside me was screaming this was messed up. The second we got in the SAA, that heat hit different, like I couldn't breathe, but it wasn't just the steam, it was this crazy tension between us. James didn't mess around. Door clicks shut, and bam, he's all over me, hands running up my arms, pulling me in. His skin was rough, grip was strong, and I just couldn't move. My head was spinning with all these feelings I couldn't handle, and next thing I know, he's kissing me again, not gentle this time, straight up demanding, and the worst part, I kissed him back, even though I knew it was so wrong, I did it anyway. Could feel him pressed against me, both of us all sweaty, and my brain's going, get out, but my body's not listening, heart racing, couldn't catch my breath, and then he crossed the line, hands going places they definitely shouldn't, and I just froze up. My mind's screaming to bolt, but I'm just stuck there, paralyzed by everything, the heat, the tension, straight up fear. James was breathing heavy on my neck, grip getting tighter, whispering, "This stays between us." I'm shaking all over, every muscle screaming to run, but I couldn't break free. He had me exactly where he wanted, and he knew it. For a hot second, I almost gave in, but somehow, I found my nerve and shoved him off. "Nope, can't do this," I blurted out, stumbling back like a total klutz, my heart going crazy in my chest, just, no way. James just stood there, with this weird look on his face, kind of mad, kind of something else, didn't say a word, while I grabbed my towel and bolted. My hands were so shaky, I nearly couldn't get the door open. As soon as I got out, the cool air hit me like, wow, and I just ran straight back to the cabin, not stopping till I was inside with the door shut. I was breathing like I just run a marathon. Sam popped out of the bathroom a bit later, totally chill and normal, flashing his usual goofy smile. I tried to smile back, but man, it felt so fake because, real talk, everything was different now. That SAA thing, total game changer. And sure, I was keeping it secret for now, but secrets have a way of coming out, you know. The next few days were straight up bizarre, like, you know when you can't get a song out of your head. It was like that, but way worse. I kept feeling his hands, his breath, just everything. The cabin went from being this awesome hangout spot to feeling like some creepy trap. I kept telling myself, it's cool, you stopped it, it's done, but deep down, I knew better. The way James looked at me when I ran out, that little smirk, yeah, he wasn't finished, he was just waiting to catch me alone again, and honestly, that thought was freaking me out. Meanwhile, Sam's just living his best life, totally in the dark about his dad being super sketch. We're out there doing normal stuff, boats, cards, cracking jokes, but I'm low-key stressing the whole time, trying to act normal but failing hard, and James just being around him made my stomach do these weird flips. Dude didn't even need to say anything, just him being there had me on edge. I knew he was playing the waiting game, and, yeah, that's why I couldn't sleep. So, like, a week after all this drama went down, Sam and I were just chilling by the lake when his phone rings. It's his girlfriend, Claire. He looks at me like, sorry, bro, and goes, hey, man, Claire wants to hang in town, going to be gone a few hours, that cool. My heart basically did a backflip. Being alone with James again. Hard pass. But what could I say? Tell his dad's being mega creepy. Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever, I said, trying to sound casual, might take their canoe out or something. Sam just gave me this totally innocent thumbs up and bounced back to the cabin to get ready. My heart was already going nuts, but I was trying to keep it together, like, maybe James would just leave me alone this time, maybe nothing weird would happen. Kept repeating that to myself, like some lucky charm or whatever. After Sam left, I hung out by the lake, trying to chill. The wind was doing its thing, fish jumping here and there. Should have been peaceful, right? But, nah, I couldn't relax. My brain kept playing greatest hits of every weird moment with James on repeat. Finally, decided to head inside, thinking maybe I'd zone out with some TV or crash for a bit, but the second I walked in, instant bad vibes. There's James, just chilling at the kitchen table with a beer, like everything's totally normal. He looked up when I came in, and we just had this super awkward staring contest for a sec. Yo, Sam out, he asked, trying to sound all chill and stuff. Yeah, I said, feeling my throat go super dry, he's going to be gone for a bit. James got this weird little smirk going. Cool, we got time to hang then. I totally froze up, like my whole body just went, nope. My heart started doing this crazy, dry thing and I was freaking out inside, like my brain was screaming, run, but my feet were being super useless. James got up and kind of sauntered over. Been dodging me lately, huh, he said, all casual, but not really, that's not going to work out for you. I tried to play it cool, but failed, big time. And man, I'm not dodging anything. He just gave me this look like, yeah, right, and came closer. His hand brushed my arm, and I jumped like I'd been zapped. Just chill, he said, remember, this is our little secret. I backed up, heart going crazy, James. But before I could say anything else, he grabbed my arm and pulled me in, not rough or anything, but definitely letting me know who was boss. I could feel him breathing on my neck, and those eyes, same creepy vibes as the SAA all over again. Not letting you bounce this time, he whispered, voice all weird and dark. I totally freaked. My brain went into full panic mode, like, get out. Get out. Get out. I yanked away, but he kept coming at me, like some movie villain. Next thing I know, I'm bolting, like I'm in some track meet, could hear him coming after me, his footsteps all heavy behind me. I just ran and ran, didn't stop until I hit the boathouse path. My legs felt like jelly, and my lungs were on fire, but I kept going. Finally, made it to the dock and just collapsed, gasping like a fish. My whole body was shaking like crazy while my brain tried to process what just went down. James had crossed the line again, and I barely got away, but I knew this wasn't the end. Sat there forever, just staring at the water, like it had answers or something. The sun was doing that pretty sunset thing, but I couldn't even enjoy it. All I could think was, I got to get out of here. But how do you explain that to your best friend without spilling everything? Just thinking about telling Sam made me feel sick, like he'd probably, hate me forever, but staying that wasn't an option anymore. Got up on wobbly legs and started the walk of shame back to the cabin. Made up my mind, I was out, no clue what I tell Sam, but I knew I couldn't stick around. Then, boom, heard a car pull up. Sam's back. My heart did this weird, flippy thing when I saw him, all smiley and normal, while my world was basically imploding. Dude, you look like you've seen a ghost, Sam called out, laughing. I tried to smile back, but it felt super fake. Couldn't tell him yet, but knew I'd have to eventually. Just walked past him into the cabin, my head spinning with all these lame excuses I'd have to make up, but deep down, I knew they were just stories, weak ones that wouldn't hold up for long. If you enjoyed this intense and gripping story, don't forget to like this video. And subscribe to my channel for more real-life experiences and stories. Hit that notification bell to stay updated with new uploads. Share your thoughts and similar experiences in the comments below. Let's support each other and create a safe space for discussion. Remember, you're not alone in your experiences. Want to see more content like this? Check out my other videos, and let me know what topics you'd like me to cover next. Your support means the world to me.